Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I'm bringing you quite an interesting dome domination gameplay using, I think, the P90 in the end. But before I get into that, there's just one thing I want to notice. A lot of you guys were mentioning that the last video I uploaded, the quality wasn't very good on it. Now, this wasn't due to anything I've done. Every video I upload is going to be 720p minimum, especially for Call of Duty. What happened was, because I have quite a slow internet connection at the moment, and incidentally I think that's getting uploaded today, so hopefully you'll get to see a much faster internet connection from here on in. But for the meantime, what it means is whenever I upload a video, the video takes quite a while to process. Now, when a video is processing, what it will have on the video page is just the barest, lowest quality, so it'll be 240p, and that'll be it. The video itself is 720p, but it's because YouTube is struggling with a slow internet, and YouTube isn't brilliant itself to process the video, so it takes a little bit of time just to churn the video through and to get the highest quality. So if you come to this video and you see it's on 240 or 480p, come back in half an hour and I'm be 99% sure you'll have a nice 720 video to watch. So sorry for that, sorry for the confusion caused, but at least we know what to do in the future from now on. This entire commentary is going to be inspired by a subscriber who wrote a comment, and I'm going to tell you his name. It's CCJJMM2277, so it's a bit of a mouthful, but I'd just like to thank him for writing in this comment, because this comment really got me thinking. Now, I'm one of these people who understands and preaches the importance of map control in doing well in Call of Duty. But for some people, perhaps map control isn't really working for them. And this guy, I'm just going to call him this guy because it'll take me too long to write his name out again, but I did give him a shout out. He left a comment saying, I know the maps very well by now, but I'm still struggling to get good scores. Is there anything you can recommend that I can do to really help me out? And there is one or two things I've thought about. Firstly, the first one that immediately came to mind is, how good is your accuracy? Now, accuracy isn't really crucial in Call of Duty because the rate of fire is so high on the vast majority of guns, and the damage is so high that you can kill people in 3 or 4 bullets, sometimes less. I mean, 2 bullets with a Mark 14, for example. So your accuracy doesn't need to be something ridiculous like 40%. However, if you are in single-figure accuracy, that is far, far too low. You really want to be no lower than, say, 15%, because 15% is reasonably accurate, taking into account the occasional spray we all have to do. If you just turn the corner and run into someone, you're just going to try and spray him down. I mean, there's no, like I did there, for example, there's no point aiming in there. You're so close, you've got a short-range weapon, you might as well spray. And whenever you spray, a couple of bullets are going to miss. So it's not because you've had bad accuracy, it's just the natural hit-fire spread of the weapon. So try and keep your accuracy into double figures. Now, if your accuracy is in single figures, what I would recommend is trying to use a weapon like the Type 95 or the Mark 14. Try and use a burst fire weapon or a single shot weapon, because that forces you to be a lot more accurate. So when you're sitting there getting slowly more accurate, you'll become more accurate in general, and then when you switch back to your M4, your ACR, your MP5, whatever weapon it might be, the automatic weapon, because you've been learning and teaching yourself to be that little bit more accurate, you will really see a big difference. So that is the first tip. My second tip is, one, if you're losing a lot of head-to-head gunfights, you really need to try and learn the flanking routes a bit better. I mean, you do know the maps well, but one-on-one combat isn't just map knowledge, it's about accuracy, like I mentioned, gun skill, which comes into accuracy and what weapon you have, and map movement and flanking. You saw in my gunfight about 10 seconds ago, I saw the guy come in. As I pulled the trigger, I didn't just stand still, I backed away. Now, this is called the strafed technique. Basically, what a strafe does is it helps put the enemy off, because you twist your body and move to the side while still shooting at him. So it takes a bit of practice to get used to keep your bullets on target. But by doing this, it buys you the extra half a second of the enemy trying to find where you are. If you stand stock still and pull the trigger, yeah, you might get the kill, but every now and again the enemy will have slightly better aim or get slightly lucky and they'll take you out. However, if you strafe, you put a lot more in your favour. Strafing also makes it a lot more likely for a panic knife to miss, so I would definitely learn to strafe. I would also try and learn to drop shot. Now, drop shotting isn't a tactic I use that much. I much prefer the strafe technique like I've outlined, because I don't like to put myself on the floor, immobile, exposed for too long. And by strafing, if I take strafing damage, I'm able to run very quickly into cover to recoup. If I drop shot someone and I take damage, I'm prone in the middle of the map quite often, and because we've both been shooting, everyone will know where we are, the enemy will turn, and if you're prone on the floor, that extra 2 seconds it takes to get into cover is often the difference between you dying and you surviving. So try either to learn to drop shot or strafe. Personally, I like strafing, but there are several of my mates who prefer drop shotting, so it's just personal preference, whichever one you want to go. The next tip I would give is to change classes. Because we're about 2.5 months into COD now, probably 2 months, I don't know exactly. But this happened to me on Modern Warfare 2 a little bit. I got into a little bit of my favourite class in inverted commas, rut. So I would immediately go and use 3 or 4 weapons because I had convinced myself they were my favourite weapons. But looking at the stats and looking at Elite or whatever, you see that you actually don't do very well with these weapons. So sit back and take a careful look at your classes. Do you seriously do well with these classes, or are they just because you like the sound of the weapon or you like the look of the weapon? A great example of this is the F2000 in Modern Warfare 2. I used to use that a lot, and it was one of my favourite weapons, but overall it was possibly the worst weapon in the game. It had terrible damage, terrible recoil. It's just because I thought it looked pretty cool that I decided to go with it in the end. But don't make the same mistake as me. If you're trying to improve your game, keep out of these weapons for the time being. When you've finally got better, you can begin to challenge yourself. But when you're just beginning to try and learn and improve, I recommend dropping weapons like the F2000 and focusing on weapons such as the P90, or a weapon that you know will be there when you need it, and the weapon that won't get you killed. So change classes, try and use weapons that you enjoy using. Obviously, this is a game, you need to enjoy it, but that will help you to win more gunfights. So stuff like what's that 4th SMG? I can't even remember what it's called. It's so bad, can't even remember what it's called. But yeah, don't try and use the dregs. Try and use the best weapons. Right. The second tip, which sort of links into this, is change playstyle. Now, you see quite a variety of playstyle on my channel. You see some gameplay, for example, like this one, where I've got an SMG and I'm trying to get relatively close, or I get a shotgun and just charge around. But you also see that, like, for example, the Type 95 gameplay I uploaded, where I play slower, I manage the traffic, I get into good positions, I defend objectives, and I win that way. There's no best way to play Call of Duty. If you're struggling in a Russia mode, try and take a bit more time. Try and use an assault rifle, get behind cover, defend objectives. But conversely, if you feel you are playing too slowly, get a shotgun out. I mean, if you use assault rifles a lot and you seriously think, I'm being a bit too negative and cautious here, get a shotgun out. Because with the shotgun, you're going to have so much more confidence in getting round that corner. Because if you run slap bang into someone, you've got the best weapon to deal with it. Especially if you use a striker, like there, for example. I got completely monstered with that striker. So if you are struggling, either long range or too cautious, whatever, go out there, try and use a different playstyle. The difference you'll notice is really quite significant. And the good thing is, eventually you'll find a happy medium, because if you're too aggressive, you'll use an assault rifle and you'll slowly begin to become more cautious and get better scores. But conversely, if you're too cautious, if you begin to use shotguns, you get pulled into positions that you're not used to getting into, and you begin to get better that way. So that's another really good tip. My final tip is, I think, the most important one. Because I see there was another comment, I think it was from Jesus Sheep, another shout out for you, and he said something like, yeah, my KD's about 1.1, but I struggle to play against the better players. And this really does tie into that. It's the choice of game mode you make. Now, domination is a game mode to avoid if you are running solo. I mean, I really enjoy domination, but it's it's a massive just carnage, really. It's a melee. The spawns keep switching. You can get spawn traps horribly. Kill streaks are flying around. It's carnage. It is absolute carnage. So if you are trying to slowly improve your game, what I would recommend, especially if you've got good map knowledge, which this commentary is about, I would recommend you went and played Mercenary TDM, because Mercenary TDM is a slightly slower paced, so it will enable you to use your map knowledge a lot more effectively, use your good flanking routes, but also one of the big benefits of Mercenary TDM is you won't run into any parties. Now, if you are just rolling solo and you just want to chill out, Mercenary TDM is the way to go, because you get a lot of good scores in that. I mean, there are some good players. You will get a few good lone wolves, but you're going to get that in every game mode. But what you don't get in Mercenary TDM is that massive 6-man party that just comes in about 8 o'clock and doesn't move until about 2 in the morning and just wins every game. I mean, I have been in the position of that party, and I've been in the position of getting stomped by that party, and you don't want to do that. So try a different game mode. If you're getting a bit stale, try a bit of Mercenary TDM, try some Headquarters, try some Sabotage. I mean, Sabotage is a fantastic game mode for getting quick wins, especially if you're in a 2 or 3 man party, because all you need to do is get that one bomb plant, and as soon as you get that, you can keep people off it with flashes and stuns from middle range. It really is a very, very easy game mode. And in fact, what I think I'll do is I'll record and upload a very, very quick Sabotage session, like 3 or 4 games, because it'll only be about a minute long, and I'll talk how we win them very, very simply and very, very easily. And if you can follow these relatively simple steps, you're going to do a lot better. So just a quick run over. Try and improve your accuracy. Try and learn to strafe or drop shot. Change classes if you're getting a bit stale. Change your playstyle, same if you're just getting a little bit stale, getting caught in situations you don't want to, and change the game mode finally. If you do all of those tips, I'm very, very confident that your KD, your win-loss, your accuracy, everything will dramatically improve. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the tips. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a fantastic day.